You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I have got 5 sizzling hot predictions for you for days for the week of July 24th and beyond. I have got stuff about Sloan and Nicole, about Victor Kiriakis, about Rafe and Jada, about Johnny and Gwen, and Sarah, Xander, and Chloe. All right, are you guys ready to dig in? Let's start with Sloan. So, EJ is A negative blood type, which less than 6% of people in the U.S. have it. He doesn't have any other known health conditions, but he and Nicole are seeing another baby specialist this week, and this baby specialist wants a sample of his DNA. They're doing like a genetic workup just to look for any issues that might happen with this kid. So he's a little surprised about that. And then after this doctor appointment, Sloan and Eric run into EJ and Nicole. And Sloan and Eric tell them that they are pregnant and having a baby. And so Nicole shares an update on her pregnancy while they're talking babies and says, oh, we just went to a new baby doc and they're doing some genetic testing. And then Sloan is like, oh crap. Because remember, she used the DNA swab on herself instead of Eric. And so that baby in Nicole's belly, maybe Eric's, it may be EJ's. The bottom line is we don't know. And Sloan is really close to getting everything she wants, which is Eric, which is a baby, which is her happily ever after. But this test result could come out and reveal something and reveal that EJ is not the baby. There's a scene in the Days of Our Lives promo this week. You can check our Days playlist, and we've got that promo for you. And it shows Eric kind of raging at her about, hiding the truth from her. I am very certain that that is a fake scene, that it's something in her mind, like a nightmare or a horrible daydream, and that it scares her because there's spoilers after that show that Eric's with her and he's fine. That's why I feel like it's a fake out. So what's going to happen, and this is confirmed, is that Sloan is going to panic and alter the test results, all right? But it's a more complex test than just a yes or no, you're the daddy kind of thing. This time they're looking at an entire genetic profile. And Sloan's going to tamper with this test. And bear in mind, she's a lawyer, not a doctor. And I'm wondering if her tampering is going to make it seem like the baby has some kind of rare disorder, some kind of genetic defect, something really wrong that is going to alarm Nicole. And maybe Nicole will be subject to some kind of risky treatment plan if that's how the test tampering is good. I think it's going to turn out really funky. And so then it's going to come down to Sloan having to either come clean or let this assumption do something really bad and cause this health scare for Nicole and her baby. So that's our first prediction. Sloan's test tampering part 2 is going to provoke a health scare for either Nicole or her unborn child. All right, before we dig into our second prediction, which is about Victor Kiriakis, I would love it if you would reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our day's updates. If you click the little bell next to subscribe, you'll get a notification when we post a new video, so you'll know there's something new for you to watch. All right, so I feel like we're about to get Victor Kiriakis' death storyline and his funeral at long last. So the reason I think this is happening is Jean-Paul Lavoisier is back in August as Philip Kiriakis, and I believe it's likely for his dad's funeral. They just introduced the concept when Kate Roberts was talking to Paulina, and she has a picture of her phone, and you can see it's Lavoisier. It's not going to be J. Kenneth Johnson. So fans have been wondering why Victor Kiriakis, the character, is still alive when John Aniston passed away on November 11th of 2022. So I want to explain the timeline real quick of how Days of Our Lives work. So they shoot 6 to 7 months ahead. So at the time that he passed away, November 11th, what they were shooting was airing in May of this year, May of 2023. So there's no way for them to pivot and have the character death that fast because they shoot 6 to 7 months ahead. and they probably needed time to script his death. And then the script is probably written, at least a month ahead, maybe longer. So we're talking, they're shooting 6 to 7 months ahead, and then a month ahead for scripting. Looks like 7 or 8 months out to write the story and then get this John Aniston tribute and the Victor Kiriakis death story happen. And then maybe the earliest that they could actually get this done was August, is what I feel like. And they may have then had to work with a schedule trying to either get J. Kenneth Johnson to come back, and maybe he couldn't. And that's why we've got Jean-Paul Lavoisier, even though he hasn't played the role since 2016, I think. So I definitely think that we are going to say an August goodbye to the legendary Victor Kiriakis and the legendary John Aniston on Days of Our Lives. That's our prediction, August funeral. All right, our third prediction is about Rafe and Jada. Are they going to make a baby? Salem is having this bizarre baby boom right now. We've got Sarah and Xander. We've got Eric and Sloan that just found out they were pregnant. We've got EJ and Nicole. And you may recall that Rafe, like Eric, is another male character with no biological kids. Jada has no bio kids either. You may remember that she got pregnant by Eric when they were dating, and she had an abortion, which upset him a lot, even though he said he respected her right to choose. But you may also recall that it was Nicole who basically prodded Jada into it by saying, do you really want to have a baby with a man who is, not into you? Because Nicole and Eric were temporarily getting back together. That completely infuriated Eric, and it kind of broke him and Nicole, and that's how she wound up with EJ. That was all part of that evolution of that storyline. So will these two unlucky in love people, Jada and Rafe, start a family after they go public? Because the official spoilers that are coming soon are that Rafe wants to take everything public. They have no reason not to now that he has been fired, so why not? And is baby gonna make 3? We'll have to wait and see. All right, our fourth prediction is about Johnny DiMera and Gwen Rizchek. Are they going to have some sort of twisted rebound romance? So there's 2 ways that this Gwen wedding thing could go. The first is when she figures out that Dimitri is banging her best friend Leo, which is still very funny to me. She could call it off. She could tell Dimitri, I'm done with you, and then she might need a rebound guy. Or she could agree to go ahead and marry him for a share of the big pile of von Leuschner money that he's going to get. And maybe the sexual side of their relationship ends once she knows he's banging Leo, and she may need a bed buddy. And if she and Leo wind up moving into the mansion, Leo would probably end up sleeping in what should be her bed with Dimitri, and maybe she'll crash in Leo's guest room, and maybe she'll run into hot Johnny shirtless in the hallways, and they might have a little fling. Their ages are close enough to where it's not crazy. Carson is 29. I know he has a baby face, but he's 29, and Emily is 38. So the ages are not that terrible. There's much bigger age gaps on this show. So that could be interesting if Johnny and Gwen are kind of rebounding / sneaking around because her husband is busy banging her best friend. We'll see. I am very interested to see how the fate of this wedding comes out. All right. Our fifth and final prediction is about Sarah and Xander and Chloe. If you haven't already, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our updates. And if you're enjoying these predictions, we'd love it if you'd click a like. So we're wondering if the baby is going to seal the deal for Xander and Sarah. There's this rumor that Chloe is leaving in 1 to 2 months. We have gotten a couple of email tips sent to us over at Soap Dirt saying that she is leaving in 1 to 2 months, and we were asked the tipster, are you talking about Nadia Borland being done shooting in a couple of months, or are you saying she's already done and the character's going to be gone? And they came back and answered us and said, Chloe's going to be off the air in 1 to 2 months. I don't know if this tip's legit or not, but it is very interesting, and clearly there's Sarah and Xander and Chloe action coming. So there's a couple ways that we see this could go. So Sarah has been holding this secret for a while, but it's not going to be held much longer. We do know that Xander loves kids, but the question is, would he stick with Chloe? And I think he would, because he's a very loyal guy, but Chloe might actually bow out for a couple of reasons. First, we have Jean-Paul Lavoisier doing a short arc as Philip. So maybe she exits with him because they were high school sweeties and Philip was still crazy about her recently enough to frame Brady Black for murder to try and win her back. So if this tidbit is true and she's leaving, maybe she leaves with Philip. It's hard to imagine Xander turning her away because he's a loyal guy. But either way, whether Nadia is leaving the show or not, Chloe might step away from Xander so that he can have a family with Sarah. I mean, she could take the high road, be classy and considerate, even though she cares about him. I don't think she's fallen in love with him yet. So if Sarah comes back soon, Chloe may step away and say, look, go have your family with Sarah. So I feel like Sarah and Xander are going to wind up together, but it will be interesting to see how it comes out. Let us know in the comments what you think about these predictions and what you are hoping to see on Days of Our Lives.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.